Hello guys, and thank you for tuning in again. Today I want to talk a little bit about motivation and how do I find my drive or my mojo, whatever you want to call it really. I had a few people contacted me and through private messages on YouTube and Facebook. And you know, there's always questions about how to do this on a regular basis, and if you could really make this a way of life or a constant income, you know. To me has been throughout my life I have always found different motivators or different inspirations that have been driven by different aspects of what is happening in my life at that moment, you know. At this moment I find myself really being like a little bit of a rebel, you know, a little bit of a, how do I say this, you know, like I come from a rock and roll background, so throughout my life I always felt like I had to rebel against something, you know, either when I was a teenager, rebel against you know, the teachers or your parents, and you know, and as you grow older, you know, I got into a career of recording, you know, recording engineering. I went to school to study that because it was my path, it was music. I played the guitar, so I said, like, well, you know, there's this fantastic university, college that I wanted to join in. So I found, like, you know, in a way I found my place in society and said, well, now I'm a student, you know, have long hair, have my tattoo, I play the guitar, I'm playing in a band. So I'm in a way I'm rebelling against the status quo as well. Because yes, I'm not going to study law, nothing against lawyers or an accountant or a doctor or whatever, you know. I'm an artist, you know, so I want to go down that road. So to me, in my head, that it wasn't a motivator at the time, but now I can see that it was, you know, it was obviously an interest, it was my passion. But now I can see that that was being manifested in that way as well, you know. It was a big motivator because it's not something that is conventional, you know. And, you know, I had the support of my parents to pay for the college and all that. You know, I managed to get a job in a recording studio. Very, very lucky. I'm not complaining at all, very, very lucky. And when I was working in the studio as well, I found myself in a situation of, you know, this is what I'm doing for a living, you know, crazy hours, you know, but it was fucking amazing, you know. And I did feel that. I felt like, you know, I have my long hair, I wear my trousers or my jeans or whatever, and I don't go to an office, man, you know. And you know, the money was all right. It wasn't something that you could say like, oh my God, I'm gonna go and buy a house with it, but it was at the beginning of my career. You know, after that, you know, when I was living in London as well, the same thing happened. I found a job in Denmark Street, which is the famous guitar shop, you know, streets where all the music shops are, and I found the same feelings within me, like I'm still this teenager, you know, this kid wanted to rebel against the status quo, and I felt like I belong. I guess the word as well is belong. Like how do we belong in a certain tribe or community? And I said, I'm a musician, you know, but I'm looking for a different path, you know. So yeah, man, I in London I felt very like, you know, all of you guys are going to an office, or you're going to, again, nothing against office people that work in offices. My wife works in an office at the moment. You know, but you know, I'm not working in the city meaning the financial district, or I'm not working in a company or doing this work in front of a computer or typing in some numbers or whatever, you know. I'm a fucking artist, I'm a musician, man, you know. So to me that was again a way to rebel, you know. That's the way I felt. I felt like I go to this amazing place, I sell instruments, and I belong in this community, you know. And that was a big, I will say, yes, a motivator to stay there, you know. It was my path. At least it was connected with music, with guitars, and you know, I met a lot of people there. At this stage now, I feel like my biggest motivator is not only obviously my family now, you know, because I want to support my family while I'm doing this, obviously. I support my family with my music. I compose music and sell stock music online. And yes, my biggest motivator at this point is to provide for my family, my wife, my kids, and yes, fulfill my purpose. But there is still within me that kid, that teenager, that wants to rebel, you know. And I find that every now and then, when people don't understand, especially family members and people close to me, they don't understand what I'm doing, you know. I mean, my in-laws, they don't have a fucking clue, you know. And that's amazing. That to me is a motivator to say, like, you know what, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna fucking show you how I earn a living, you know, because I'm very passionate about it, you know, and I want to transfer this message to other people, especially to my daughter, you know, that she has some artistic inclinations and all of that. It is possible, you know. And I went to my accountant one time, you know, I had to get an accountant and everything to sort out my tax and all my shit. And I went one morning to her office to talk about, you know, just business stuff. And she got me so fucking depressed, you know, talking about how shit things are, the economy and all of this. I came back home to the studio and I said, like, what? I felt like quitting, man, you know, like giving up. And I felt, you know what, I'm gonna fucking show you as well. Hopefully, if she's watching this, hopefully she doesn't get offended by it. But even that, I turned that into a motivation. Even that, I said, you know what, you're depressed here. I'm here trying to, you know, yes, I'm your customer, I'm a client. And, you know, I'm here projecting not only good stuff in terms of business and, you know, these are my sales, how much do I have to pay in taxes and all that. Just, you know, do your bit. But I got so fucking depressed. I told my wife, like, you know what, I'm not coming to the office. I don't want to deal with this shit. You know, my wife helps me a lot when it comes down to paperwork and stuff, because I live in Greece, like I have mentioned before, and even though I speak Greek, it's easier for my wife to deal with the bureaucracy of it all. And when it comes down to read the small prints, you know. So I said, you deal with her, you know, and I'm just gonna fucking work. So anyways, my point is that the motivators are different throughout my life. Have been very, very different. But I always try to keep in touch with that teenager, if you will. You might say that I haven't grown up properly or I haven't matured yet. But it's one of those things. I try to tap into that, you know. I have that, you know, yes, I want to provide for my family, but at the same time I want to rebel against the status quo and show them that, yes, I don't fucking go to work somewhere else. Somebody's not hiring me. I live on the fucking edge, you know, and that edge is, how do I keep myself sharp? How do I keep myself driven and motivated and have some discipline to build something from scratch, you see? And yes, it is fucking music. Yes, it is because I play the guitar. These are my skills, you know, and this is what I can do, you know, to contribute, you know. So you know, when I get frustrated and angry, and you get this negativity, or you get this, you can't do that because you're an artist. You can't do that because you know, it's a tough market. You should go and be a lawyer or a doctor or an architect or whatever, you know. I always use that as and I reverse that. I try to switch that in my mind and say, I'm gonna show you guys that it is possible, because I'm not the only one doing this. There's so many people doing this shit online and around the world. I have friends in England that are playing, you know, gigs and shit with famous bands, and you know, and that's how they earn a living, you know, man, and they do different stuff. So you know, it's just a quick entry vlog about how I stay driven and motivated, and it's just a quick reminder that, you know, deep down in all of us, we're still a kid in a way, you know, that wants to rebel against our parents. We want to rebel against the status quo. We don't like this politician, so we're gonna vote for the other one. We all find ways to rebel or to you know, yeah, I think it's rebellion, really. I think that's the best way to put it. So I try to stay driven by that as well, you know. There is that sense of yeah, I want to be fucking rock and roll, you know. Hopefully my image as well. I want to have a fuck off beer as well, so I can walk down the street and people say, what the fuck this guy is doing, you know. And it's a statement as well, and always stay sharp in my brain, always stay sharp, and always constantly thinking about how to improve my music, how to improve my business, how to increase my income, how to motivate and help others as well to do something for themselves, you know, and pass this message to my daughter, you know, and to my kids, so they can see that it is possible. You know, it is possible to follow your dreams, and it does take work, but it is possible, and that's all you need to know. I think that's the most important thing, just to know that it is possible, and just keep rocking and rolling, man. You know, I just want to keep in touch with that within me. So never give up, you know, and see that the possibilities and the success that we can have, the success that you can have is only limited by the way you think. It's all about a mindset. So anyways, man, hope these videos find you well. Let's keep shit real and rock and roll, man. See you on the other side, all right?